former All-Pro Joe Hayden of the Cleveland Browns, and current All-Pro.
That's why I tell the Cleveland Browns.
And of course you. Here's to another year of Keeping It Real Sports. Thanks for watching Keeping It Real Sports.
Yes, sir. Rock Yassin, Keeping It Real Sports.
Appreciate you, brother.
I'm with Prince Bell, we rocking with Keeping It Real Sports, and we gonna be on this. We gonna be on a lot of times. I love the platform. Check in, it's the new wave. Like, follow, subscribe, and do all that good stuff.
No Andy today, but this show is going on. We got a great show planned for you today. Today on Keeping It Real Sports, NFL Week 2 recap, NFL Week 3 matchups, and college football is on fire today. Are you ready? I am. Let's do it.
Come on. Told you I got you. Wanna talk about the game, he can talk about it. Tennis, match, golf, he can talk about it. Don't matter what it is, he can talk about it. Any sport dude, he know about it. Save your boy bum, don't doubt it. If he tell you that it is what it is. The real sports guy in the Sandman. Talk show game in the bag, man. Rep, don't have to throw the flag, man. Steve Taylor, Andy Sands. It's over, OVA. Game over, they don't play. From the fourth quarter to the ninth inning. NASCAR wheels keep spinning. To the 18th hole, he's still in control. Keep eye on the goal. Coach never missing the play, cause he know the deal. This keeping it real. Sports. Come on. Keeping it real. Yeah. Let's go.
Let's go indeed, man. I got a big show planned for you today. I am so glad you can be here. I am stoked to be back at our normal time slot, 10 o'clock, and you can expect that every Saturday morning. Man, we've got a football-packed show for you today, and we're going to start with hot off the press. We're going to keep it real. And when we're talking hot off the press, man, we have to talk about all of the chaos that is going on in Chicago, or should I call it the Bad News Bears. Man, a week that was. Can it get any worse? Well, it all started out with a simple press conference from Justin Fields. Justin was asked, why are you struggling? Justin, in his own words, said, I am, quote, playing robotic. When the reporter asked Justin, why are you playing so robotic? He said, it could be the coaching. So they go out and they have practice, and after practice, there is a recantment of this story. Maybe I should have said it was me and not the coaching. Man, Justin, we got to be better than that. I expect you to be better than that. It's going to be a tough week, but it's the Bad News Bears. Can it get any worse for the Bad News Bears? Well, it did. How? Later on that day, the defensive coordinator resigns. Alan Williams. It's like, man, how worse can it get? This thing is spun totally out of control. I don't think this is on Justin. I'm thinking this is more so an organizational thing, because the Bears people haven't had a sufficient quarterback since, let me think, Sid Luckman. Okay, now how long does that go back? Quite a while before me. I'm just saying, these things got to get better, Chicago. I don't think your coach is going to last longer. I don't think your culture is going to last longer. They're not going to allow that in Chicago much longer. I tell you, man, let's get into what we call NFL storylines. Our NFL storylines, man, we got to start with where we predicted last week, the big game, the Seattle Seahawks and the Detroit Lions. Would Seattle be able to get up off the deck, or would Detroit continue to Detroit? Well, we got the answer to that. Detroit started to Detroit late, early. They look good, but Lions, come on, man. Come on. We expect better than that from the Detroit Lions. It's got to be better, man. It's got to be better. Come on, Motor City Dan, we in your corner. We want to see better than that. When we look at week 2 storylines, Kansas City Chiefs get the win with the return of Chris Jones. But the concern has to be on the offense. Seems like all the offense is in Washington. The Washington Redskins seem to be clicking. Why would that be, Steve? Well, because they have Eric Bieniemy, who is not in Kansas City. This thing is starting to carry over. I'm definitely paying attention to Kansas City. The defense picked up, won the game for you last week, but can that carry? We'll have to see. Speaking of defense, the Dallas Cowboys, they have all the defense in the world, and it showed up and it showed out on Sunday. But the Travion Diggs carried the ACL in practice on Wednesday. How is that going to affect him? Well, I just wasn't ready to eat the rat poison concerning the Dallas Cowboys anyway, because the offense has not been clicking. Why? Well, Dak Prescott hasn't had to click because the defense has been overbearing, very powerful. Can this continue? The one thing that out of the rookie class, when we talked about it, the 3 drafted rookies, well, I felt like C.J. Stroud should have been the number 1 pick overall. C.J. Stroud has looked the best out of all 3 quarterbacks. Really has a great grasp of the offense, and I love how he has taken on the leadership aspect of this team, carrying them into the next level. I love C.J. Stroud, even though they haven't had the wins yet, but you see the steps being implemented there. When we look at Anthony Richardson and Indianapolis, well, the question is, we see the flashes, and we knew we would see the flashes, but we also see the other things with him. Man, I didn't expect him to be the second best quarterback in the draft class, but it's starting to look like that. Which brings me to Bryce Young. Bryce Young, small quarterback, has all the goods in a college system. It just doesn't carry over to the NFL. I mean, you see the flash with him as well, but he's just too small. This week he's out already with a twisted ankle. I love the ceiling for Bryce Young, but I just don't think it's going to last. We just don't ever see great small quarterbacks last long. I just hope that's not the case with this young man. Young man we were talking about earlier, Justin Fields. Is this thing going to get better for Justin Fields? Will it be more the same? I don't think he's going to bounce back. I think it's going to be more the same. It's just the hand that he's dealt. It's not particularly his fault. It's just the offense. You've got a defensive-minded coach, and you're just not doing anything to really stress defenses. They called 3 screen passes last week, and the third one was intercepted. They asked the defense after the game, man, you seem like you had a bead on that play. Why? Well, we saw it 3 times, the same play. Come on, let's get some imagination, Chicago. It is what it is, and you're getting what you're getting. See, another bounce back guy. Will he bounce back this week? Mac Jones. Man, we've been hearing a lot about Alabama Mac. Man, I think he's going to bounce back this week. I like Mac Jones this week. And then the last quarterback, Deshaun Watson. Is it going to be more the same? Or will he bounce back? Man, I personally think he's going to bounce back. So, I like it. Deshaun Watson. Bounce back. Bounce back, Deshaun. Man, I have been pretty solid on my picks so far in the NFL. Last week, I was 5-1. The week before, I was 4-2. I've been doling out nothing but winners. I'm going to dole out winners again. My lock of the week is none other than the New England Patriots. Why? Because I just don't trust the quarterback, Zach Wilson, for the Jets against them. And besides, people, they just don't beat New England. It is what it is. That Bill Belichick and his defense, I'm sure he'll have something dialed up for them. And it will definitely be confusing for the young quarterback. I definitely see that coming. That gets us to our pick 6 of the week. LA Chargers traveling to Minnesota to take on the Vikings. Boy, two teams that I thought wouldn't make the playoffs. This one here is the lesser of two evils for me. I'm going to take the Chargers in this one, people. I like the Chargers in this one. Atlanta traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions. Man, I love what Atlanta's doing. That was my lock of the week. Last week, I don't know if it travels. I think they're going to run into an ornery bunch in the Detroit Lions. Give me the Lions this week. Which brings us to our next game, and that will be, this one's going to be a interesting matchup, Buffalo and Washington. And it's like, man, do you really want to buy into Washington wholeheartedly? I want to. I really want to. But I don't think I can. I got to go with Buffalo. I like Buffalo on this one. I just think the veteran leadership, the veteran quarterback of Buffalo will find the way. I almost will his team to victory. I like Buffalo on this one. And here we go. Another one that's going to be a pretty interesting matchup. The New Orleans Saints traveling to Green Bay to take on the Packers. This gets to be Jordan Love's first home game. And a New Orleans team who's not playing as well as we had projected. It seems that Derek Carr is struggling a bit, but I think he'll find his footing tomorrow, and I think he'll get the win. Give me New Orleans Saints to win. That gets us to fifth game. Is Tennessee traveling to Cleveland. And if you listen to me on my bounce back, I thought Deshaun Watson would bounce back. Well, that means I'm picking Cleveland. I like Cleveland. Why do I like Cleveland so much? Well, I spent a lot of time around the Cleveland Browns this year. I had the pleasure of going camping with these guys. And as I was in camping, I had a chance to be in press conferences with Kevin Stefanski that was scheduled indoors. They moved it outdoors in the rain. Just said out loud. But here was what I did when I went camping with the Cleveland Browns. Media day at Browns camp. Get a chance to talk to some of the players, bringing you some exclusives. Keeping it real sports. We got it going on. It's getting real here. Passing through the weight room facility. kind of browny up in here, you know? Kind of Cleveland-y. But it's all good. I got a lot more coming. Stay tuned.
Yeah, well, I mean, two guys that are big leaders in the linebacker room on the defensive side of the ball and for our football team. They both play with great passion. They both are great workers in the weight room, in the game room, you name it. So, not surprising that they bond together over the weekend. Fun enough to touch guys after all.
That's how you weed them out.
Yeah.
In terms of Alex, those guys that really kind of coming along, again, how important
Yeah, as you know, Mary Kay is our least favorite part about this game. Those guys will both be back, but they're going to have to deal with these injuries, and we'll support them as we go.
How important is it to have guys that look different, play different, just all these different types of guys?
Yeah, I mean, they come in all shapes and sizes, and I think you've seen certainly at the linebacker position, at DB, at corner, there's guys that have won with great size and length. I think back to my days growing up with Bobby Taylor at the Eagles, who was drafted to be a Michael Irvin stopper, and then you had some smaller corners that I was around for Antoine Winfield, who was as tough as they come. So there's a variety of ways to win. So not surprised that our coaches feel that way, and I feel that the same way too. At linebacker, we can have some guys that are thumpers, that are big, and around some guys that are considered stand-up nose guards. Then you have guys that are a little more sideline to sideline and can win with speed and can win with power as well.
Kevin, one of the one-on-one matchups has been somewhat entertaining to watch from the outside looking in between Denzel and Elijah Moore. Just the back and forth competition between them. How do you feel about that, and just how much better are they making you that?
Yeah, but these guys are so competitive, and those are two great players. And they knew that we always do that with our one-on-ones. The last rep is for push-ups, and both those guys wanted to go. It wasn't going to be those two guys, and then Elijah and Denzel kind of demanded that they wanted one more rep. They're gonna go. One guy's going to win one day, the other guy's going to win the next day. It's just what you get with great players. But I think there's a great message in there for all of our players, our young guys in particular, where iron sharpens iron, and you want to go good versus good as often as you can, because it's only going to make you better.
any concern whatsoever about track and what that
That's
brings?
football.
Coach, from
Got to get used to playing in the conditions.
Coach, from an identity standpoint, are you happy with where you are right now, identity-wise?
Yeah, I think you're building your identity throughout training camp and throughout the preseason. I think for us, we really focus on our work. We focus on today, and I think that builds into our identity where we don't get too far ahead of ourselves, but we want to make sure that we're keeping the main thing, and for us, that's practice today.
From Cleveland, Ohio, and the training camp of the Cleveland Browns, it's the Real Sports Guy, keeping it real sports. The talk of college football has been the Pac-12 right now. The biggest surprise, and in the Pac-12 was a matchup that we had last week featuring the Colorado Buffaloes and the Colorado State Rams, where Travis Hunter gets targeted and he's out 2 to 3 weeks. But the story of the week was the death threats that the young man got because of this. Coach Prime, the voice of reason, really condemning the people who make it. I mean, come on, man. This is a game. This is a kid's game. This is a kid's game. I mean, why are we threatening young men? This just doesn't make sense. We're talking about death threats. Say it out loud. Death threats. That young man did not deserve that. Did he go overboard on the play? Maybe. Was it a dirty hit? Yes, it was. But you do not, man, fight fire with so-called that kind of fire, man. That is unacceptable. My hat's off to Coach Prime for condemning that. But as I was talking about the Pac-12, man, the Pac-12 is lit right now. 8 teams in the top 25. From Utah to Oregon State, we've got a DJ Uiagalelei sighting. We have Washington. No one's talking about Michael Penix and company. Even UCLA is ranked number 22. That ain't going to last long because they're going to run into number 11. No, number 9 in our poll, Utah. Utah will take them to task, I do believe. But, man, some of the I think, the wash will iron out starting today. But the biggest surprise has to be Colorado State. Colorado. And, man, and when I'm talking about Colorado, it's going to be a big game later on today as they take on Oregon. And conventional wisdom is they're going to get run out of the building. People, they have the Oregon Ducks 21-point favorites in this. 21-point favorites. Now, I don't know if Colorado will win the game, but I do know that nowhere in the world Oregon is 21 points better than Colorado. I like Colorado today to win. Give me Colorado for the win. Why? Because Bo Nix, it's not going to take long before the Oregon Ducks figure out the best player on the team, on the field, is on their sideline. The best quarterback is their quarterback. My only warning to the Oregon Ducks, if you load up on cupcakes, you better get full. That brings me to Alabama and Ole Miss. And people, you have so many times, I've got the calls all last week. Steve, we need to look at Alabama, where you got them ranked at. Why you got them ranked so high when the Associated Press got them in the top, 15. The coaches poll have them in the top 15. Why do you have them in the top 10? Because it's Alabama. I mean, do you really think Alabama is going to lose today? They're not going to lose today. Give me Alabama. I'll lay the 7. Give me Alabama. I like the Tide. Roll Tide. And that gets us to another team rated high in the nation, the Florida State Seminoles. I'm not so bullish on Florida State, especially after last week. I saw what happened when they played Boston College last week. I saw what an athletic quarterback did to the Florida State defense last week. You think they're not going to play an athletic quarterback this week? Clemson has won 25 consecutive home games. They've also won the last 7 meetings versus Florida State. So why would you favor Florida State when they haven't beaten these guys? I like Clemson. And you're going to give me 2.5? Give me Clemson to win. So there you go. And, man, I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about this one here. Boy, the biggest game of the day. The Ohio State Buckeyes traveling to Notre Dame. Notre Dame, number 9th ranked team in the country. The Buckeyes, number 6. People, do you realize this is a top 10 matchup? How rare is it that you have a top 10 matchup? Well, Ohio State has had 108 top 10 matchups. So this is what they do. It's going to be an interesting game tonight. Notre Dame is they're going to sport the all green uniforms. First time in history. It's going to be interesting to see that. But they bring a puncher's chance into this one. Sam Hartman, they've got a great quarterback that has the ability to throw the ball all over the field, and that running back they have is very physical. So I'm going to be looking on that side of the ball up front. Can they protect Sam Hartman? That's going to be pivotal for the Notre Dame offense. When you flip it to the other side and you look at Kyle McCord, my question for him, is this going to be too big a stage for him? Personally, I don't think so. I love the fact that Ohio State began the season on the road. So this is not a first home road game for these guys. They began the season on the road, which was, I felt, a more pressured situation. You're going into a buzzsaw tonight. Granted, it is going to be loud. It is going to be boisterous. And Notre Dame is physical to the T. I'm telling you, they run the ball hard. And when they run it, it sets up play action down the field. Sam Hartman may not have the best playmakers, but Sam Hartman is one darn good quarterback that's been around a long, long time. So it's going to be real interesting to see how Notre Dame attacks the Buckeyes offensively. And then for me, the biggest question mark for me is the defense of the Buckeyes. Have they taken that next step to the next level? I personally like the things that they've done. I personally like a lot of the physicality that they've been playing with. I love how the secondary has started to play the next phase of the defense brought in this year. So it's going to be a physical game. It's going to be a great game. I personally think the Buckeyes win the game. So there it is. Before I get out of here, man, we normally give that dude to that player of the week. For me, that dude of the week, Deion Sanders. I mean, boy, come on, man. Coach Prime continues to shine regardless of how the spotlight looks. I'm going to give him the That Dude Award. Coach Prime continues to be the voice of reason. Coach Prime didn't panic when his team was facing adversity last week. When your leader doesn't blink, your team don't blink. And his team didn't blink. So he, to me, was that dude. So there you go. 95 shows in, man, and I'm loving this, man. I got a whole lot more for you. I like to take time to thank James Foster over at Foster's Barbershop. James, man, I thank you for believing in me and with the direction that we're starting to take this show in. I thank you, brother, for all of your support and being one of the sponsors here. And of course, Fizzy Bees Distributing, man, great things coming. I promise you. 95 of them in the book, man. It's been fun, but I gotta run. And so until next week, peace, love, Chuck and Deuces.